Sean Payton just offered some really high praise to two young Denver Broncos players who have really stepped into a leadership role after Justin Simmons was released by the team. The team lost, obviously, their biggest vocal leader when Simmons was released, and the Broncos were wondering, at least defensively, who was going to step into that role. Pat Surtain is a natural candidate, and I do believe he's going to step into that role. But Sean Payton called out a couple of other guys who have really risen to the task. Bringing in this article right here from Broncos Wire, PJ Locke and Baron Browning have really stepped into that leadership role for the Denver Broncos. And Payton was asked who was going to fill the leadership void by Justin Simmons, and he called out PJ and Baron specifically. I'm rooting for all of them relative to leadership, but I think that PJ is a guy that you feel it from. Just on the back end, it's a young group. I think that's something that's a little bit more organic. I think it will come from some of the guys in the defensive front. It will come from some of the guys. Browning at outside backer, I've seen that from him. I think that's something that kind of evolves a bit, but it's felt a lot different. Not with any one new player or any certain player removed. There's something about youth and energy that we're going through right now that's contagious. And you can really feel some of that energy that these young players bring. They're injecting life into their teammates. They're really trying to pump up and bring up the guys around them. That's really good to see. And if PJ Locke and Baron Browning can continue to foster this leadership role, I would not be surprised at all if one or both of those players weren't named as team captains in 2024. It's really good to see that these players who, for Baron Browning, he's been on the roster since 2020, and I want to say PJ Locke's been on the roster since 2020, 2021, something like that. So both of those guys have been in the locker room for an extended enough period of time where they're respected and they're revered by their teammates. And Sean Payton is echoing that sentiment to the media in his press conferences. And you know that Sean Payton's not going to be a guy who's going to offer that kind of praise unless it was significantly warranted. Now, from an on-the-field perspective in terms of X's and O's, Justin Simmons' departure is going to leave a bit of a void on the back end, but I'm also confident that PJ Locke will be able to step up and fill that role as well. Brandon Jones is going to be his co-starter in the defensive backfield. Caden Stearns is still in the building, trying to get back from his ruptured patella. So when Caden gets back, I feel like the Denver Broncos are going to have a really good three-headed monster there at safety, with a couple of unknowns in that building or in that room as well, including JL Skinner. If he can step up and develop in his second year, then I think the Denver Broncos will have a very, very solid DB room. But just in terms of a leadership perspective, it's really, really good to see PJ Locke and Baron Browning stepping into those roles quite nicely. All right, Broncos country, I am curious about your thoughts on how PJ Locke and Baron Browning have really stepped into that leadership. Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are two free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.